Hey all, Eric Jensen, winemaker and farmer at Booker. And tonight we got a great guest because normally we have winemaker guests or it's just me and you all get sick and tired of hearing me talk. So we decided to bring a superstar on. He was a former nerd, nuclear physicist or something, you know, he was fucking smarter than you are. So mechanical engineer, nuclear engineer, knows a bunch of words we don't know, but he had this great idea. And he came up with this absolutely wonderful company that I use all the time at home called Coravin. To me, one of the greatest inventions in the wine business. Greg Lambrecht really revolutionized the industry. He allowed salespeople to go out and not waste a full bottle because that's pretty messed up. They could Coravin a bottle, go into a tasting, and then do 7 more tastings that day. And if there was a half a bottle left, take it out the next day. I've become a big fan and have been for a couple years. So anyways, we're really honored to have him here because we're voracious users of his product. And people get sick of listening to winemakers talk shit. Everyone wants to hear from a nerd occasionally, Greg. So thank you.
God help him.
Thank you very much for coming on. I see you're sitting very fancy because now are you the CEO?
No, I'm the chairman and founder. I used to be CEOs of companies. I do medical devices as well. So I've got a medical device company, a spinal implant company. And I realized that nobody knows what a chairman does. And so I report to nobody. I hire CEOs that run great companies. And I get to do whatever I want, which is fantastic. And that means this. Like I get to sit here and I get to drink with you in the evening from our headquarters. This is our headquarters here in Massachusetts.
Beautiful. Headquarters meaning house, or is that at the office?
No, this is the office. This is where Coravin is made. I mean, this is us. This is our. I mean, it's vast and empty right now because we are a non-essential business in the view of Massachusetts state government. So nobody's allowed to be in here. I just took off my mask because we are Massachusetts, and you know, we were the 3rd worst hit state in the nation from COVID-19. So everybody's at home. We're working from afar, and I get to drink wine with people at a distance and celebrate all those wonderful things that wine is.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And for those of you watching, if my audio gets too windy, I'll close this door. Just send in a note to Lauren and Sarah, and they'll head me off. But we're here at the guest house today. Fridays, I like to go up to the main house, but you can see the gorgeous vineyard on both sides of us, Greg. And this is the house my kids were born in. And so wow. What this has done for us has been so cool. First of all, everybody, so we can quit bullshitting and let's move straight in.
I'll drink.
Let's get some wine in the glass between these lips. So I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions. We're going to just play rapid fire. Tonight we're on ONES Syrah, so I'll put you to sleep in 30 seconds. Tell you the concept behind ONES Syrah so we can listen to the real star or the newly found stardom. He used to just be a nerd, and now he's one of the tech guys.
Still a nerd.
The tech guys were just nerdy, smart guys, and now they're nerdy and famous, and we love to watch them on TV. But Greg, where ONES came from was everyone used to say, "Do you ever like think about your best barrel and what would it be like to just taste your best barrel?" And I'd say, "Well, come over here. This is my best barrel that's going to go into Fracture or Vertigo, and or the Cab into My Favorite Neighbor." And so I had this idea. I said, I'm going to take it and I'm going to isolate the best barrel or two, and I'm going to create what's called ONES. It's just the best ones. And it is a distinctive, it's become a distinctive wine. As you could tell, you guys,
wow.
I don't care about nose. I think the nose is almost a joke because it can trick you. I've smelled more great wines that then taste like horse shit or cat pee in New Zealand. But what we want to do, get our nose down in there, and what you can immediately smell is, unlike Fracture, this wine is much bigger, it's denser, it moves more into black fruit than it does red immediately, and it's way bigger on the palate. So as we take our first drink,
Wow. I'm going to have you call my dentist. This is going to change the color of my teeth. That is a beautiful monster.
So what we look for in this wine, where we get tricked in this wine is when we're picking the best barrel, is we end up selecting the barrel that's like almost a finished wine. And it's sometimes it's a head fake because it's so debaucherous and big. But what it's come out to be is it's really come out to be, and I'm always very honest with my members. This is not a wine for everybody. This is a wine for my folks that want the biggest, baddest Booker wine. Because Fracture is without question a more elegant wine than this. But if you want density, texture, mass, length, the ones it's untouchable. And in the world of Syrah, there's very few Syrahs that want to be at this level or can get to this level just because they can't get that extraction of tannin and color to bind with each other. And so instead of putting you to sleep with the cab, rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. I want it to be very specific for people that just want these Colt Napa cabs that are just so my buddy Russell Bevan, he wants his to be so badass. Realm, they want Absurd to be so big and bad. So
yeah, like mountain cab.
Yeah, just dense, but not for everybody. So I don't lie to my club. I don't say you have to have ones in your library. I say if you like these uber dense badass wines, that's where it goes. So real quick, I want to throw you some quick questions. And by the way, if anybody on my list, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them about how I do this, what my thought process is. Greg, let's fire away a couple of things. So, and you know, I'm being very sincere when I call you a nerd, because the nerd is the reason you probably live in a very big house. And as you said, you get to be the chairman now. You're not the little guy anymore. But how do you go from being this kind of geeky, uber smart? Well, I know how you get there. Your mind's always working. You have an engineering thought process to every single thing in life. But give us 30 seconds on you being pissed off and maybe not wanting to drink the first bottle to how it came to you saying, man, I gotta invent something that becomes Coravin.
So I was working in medicine. I was where I am now, and I travel a lot as a result of that, and I've got to be sober the next day. And so I remember coming home, and my wife wanted a glass of Nebbiolo. She wanted Barolo, and I wanted a white Burgundy. And I was like, why the hell are we making this compromise where one of us has to like sacrifice what they want to drink for the other person? I was like, why can't we each have whatever the hell we want whenever we want and not have to think about when we're going to drink the rest of the bottle? And I remember looking at the bottle and going, it's 750 milliliters because that was some guy's breath volume when blowing glass back in the 1600s. Like there's no science or rationale behind 750 milliliters of wine. So I was like, it's a package, right? I mean, my dad's a type 1 diabetic. He's sticking needles into his insulin bottle all the time, taking out a shot, and a couple of milliliters, injects himself, puts it back in the fridge. I was like, isn't this the same as a medicine bottle? Can't I draw wine out of this in the quantity I want without it changing? I just need to push it out without actually letting air in. And then I can go back. I mean, cork is this incredibly elastic thing. It's the same compression that's sealing it against the glass on the inside of the neck. It's causing the hole to close when you remove the needle. I push argon, which is an inert gas that they use in physics. And wine
heavier than air.
You guys. Yeah, exactly. It's heavier than air. It's totally inert, has no smell and taste, doesn't react with anything. If I push that into the bottle and use that to push the wine out, then no air gets in when I'm pouring. I can pull the needle out like I do now. And because these corks are elastic, you can turn the bottle upside down, store it in your fridge, and drink it again next year. And it was this, I developed this chemotherapy delivery system. It was the first product I developed for Pfizer. And we were delivering chemotherapy to kids over a long period of time. There was this implant underneath the skin called a port, and we would access it with a needle through the skin over and over again during the course of their therapy. So I'd gotten really good at making needles that went in and out of things without doing damage. And I was holding one of these needles in my hand and holding a bottle in my other hand going, there has got to be a way I can use this to get what I want out of this bottle. The first night that I made the prototype, I drank from 5 different wines. It wasn't to drink down a single bottle of wine, that was what was interesting to me. It was the ability to do what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to taste these two epic wines side by side. And then when COVID-19 goes away and my staff comes back, I'm going to pour these bottles to them, whenever the hell that is, and have them taste these wines. So I can now share this. A bottle is a series of experiences that you either have all at once, or you can share with friends, or you can expand to as many people as you want now with Coravin through tasting.
Well, I'll take it a step further. So during this pandemic, you guys, I've told you guys, it's so funny, Greg, that you and I have now become virtual buddies, and our company has used you, and I've told people on my tastings, and I'm telling restaurants. So I've got a bunch of national chain restaurants that have come to me and says, what can we put together? And I'm saying, all right, here's what we would do. If you've got 200 restaurants, let's do a steak. Let's do a dinner, maybe steak and seafood, and let's do 3 wines. And let's sell them 1 Coravin the first time we do this dinner. And we could do, let's say this week we could do 3 Booker wines. Next week I can do 3 Italian wines, and I could still moderate it for you. They own the Coravin, and we don't have to kill every bottle. And so what we're finding is that so many parties, because a guy like me has in this guest house up to 10 winemakers at a time from Napa, Sonoma here, and we're partying. And most of the time at the end of the night, you got, because guys just start cracking corks.
Yep.
And I'm talking fucking $500 bottle of wine.
Right.
So you got 50 grand, 40 grand, 20 grand of wine on the table. And at the end of the night, half of it's still left. Dudes are hungover. They get up early. They bail. I come in to clean up, and I'm like, how am I going to drink 40 bottles?
Man, one of the weirdest experiences of my entire life is Provine. Provine's got to be the largest trade show in wine ever. I mean, it's football fields of wineries all showing their stuff. The end of the night, every night, or actually, particularly the last day, they leave all of their open bottles that have not been finished in the aisles, and people come by and pick them up. There have got to be 500,000 bottles of wine in those buildings. It's unbelievable, all open, being thrown away. You are an artist, like it or not. You are a winemaker. You're dealing with all these complex things, weather and vineyard and oak and when you pick and all these different decisions you make, and to throw half of that away or hundreds of bottles of that away just makes no sense. And on the other side of it, I wanted, as a guy who eats at restaurants, I wanted to be able to order anything by the glass. And they're serving me these low-end wines by the glass because they're willing to throw away the rest of the bottle.
Not anymore.
I want that wine by the glass. Not anymore. And actually, what you're saying is actually my dream. I mean, wine restaurants have deeper cellars than I do. And to be able to go and say, hey, I'm going to use my Coravin. I'm going to buy the bottle from you. Can I pour like half of it for myself and my wife? And then I'm going to take the rest of it home. Is that all right? And it's weird because the law is like, well, is that an open bottle? Is it not an open bottle? And,
fuck no, it ain't open. There's a damn cork in it. So what we were doing, me and my son, actually, for those of you following, if you got the ONES Cab, crack it real quick. So this Cabernet in 16, where was 16 from? It might have been 1 barrel from Low Pie and 1 from Denner, or maybe both were from Low Pie, which is next to Denner. But so I picked these two. Again, massive extraction, big wine, not overly tannic on the finish. Remember, I look for great polymerization, an anthocyanin, binding to a tannin. Basically, they have sex. They join together and say, let's do this, and that forms polymerization, so that the tannin no longer shows you all that dryness. And so the 16 Cabernet, it's a big wine, but I still think it's still got balance. I still don't think you need to age this thing forever. Although the bottom line with both of these, I built up so much oxidative and reductive strength by giving them oxygen up front. And remember, that's the key. Don't let these somms, critics lie to you. Tannins don't mean a wine can age. It's oxidative reductive strength. How much oxygen did that wine take on so that through the cork in that slow exchange, when it does take on oxygen, is it strong enough to continue to age, or will it brown early? There's a lot of other colloidal mass issues there and polyphenolic issues, but number one is that.
How do you control that? How do you make a wine?
A lot of oxygen early.
Enough?
A lot of oxygen
Okay.
early. Post fermentation, as much as that wine can absorb and continue to take, we don't have a mechanism to measure it yet. We're figuring that out. We're getting close. We have color markers. And then once it's got that, and you've only got about 90 days to get at that oxygen. Now, tannins do play a part, but they're down the list. Acid plays another part. And I always tell these guys, Paso has the greatest acid in the world. It just does. There's no other soil in the world that can deliver you the acid that we have. And that's why even on a massive wine like this, you still get brightness. You still get uplifting. Normally a wine this massive, it would just be so flabby. This one,
don't you find you must think that that's the way that wines age? I mean, I find wines with acid age so well. I mean, it's like the backbone of aging.
Oxidative strength is number one. Acid is number two. VA, you got to have a low VA, otherwise it'll jump out at you. And then lastly, tannins. To me, it's in that order. Most of the great scientists in the lab will tell you that have studied this for 50 years will say, yes, it's in that order, especially with now what we know. But let's not put them to sleep. So me and my son.
I was going to say, and you call me a nerd. So can I do one demo? I poured one glass.
Do a quick demo. Do a demo. I'm going to put my hat on.
So
because my hair's going
one
crazy.
Glass. I like it. So one glass without the aerator and one glass with the aerator. So I was asked to make an aerator because people kept asking me for it with Coravin. They're like, how do I decant my wine? I'm just pouring
wait a minute. This is a new one.
This is a new one.
Okay.
This is a new aerator.
Perfect.
All right. So what is aeration? Aeration is surface area times time. It's the exposure of the wine to as much oxygen as possible, or air as possible. And so if you don't want to wait, you have to increase the surface area. So what we did, we realized we were pouring with pressure. And I developed this on an airplane flying back from Australia, where we were working on Coravin screw cap. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it against my black shirt, so I'm going to try to pour it sideways. We break the stream up into 32 little streams. It becomes a shower head. And those streams turn into droplets. The droplets increase the surface area by a factor of 1,000. So it's actually about an hour to plus in your glass. If you like tannins, do not use this aerator. It fits on all the Coravin. So that's the geekiness. I just got geeky. I love science, and the science of wine is brilliant. It's so complicated. Like what you have to do is, I was never good at chemistry.
So that's beautiful. You've taken all that guesswork out, because a lot of people, I'm asked nonstop. We did not use the aerator on this last pour. So Lauren, give me a pour in the, please.
They are totally different, and they're totally different on the nose, but then they're going to be different on the palate as well. I haven't tried them yet.
Well, so for the exact reason, guys, we've talked about this, I believe, last week. What is aging wine is a joke to me. It's a joke for one reason. It's a joke because we were told to have wine be great, we have to age wine, which was a lie. We had to age wine because winemakers over-extracted tannins in Bordeaux, or it was too acidic because they had to pick it too early because it started raining and the hell came. A great wine is drinkable off the bottling truck and for 30 years. So why would we want this air that he's talking about? Why would we want to decant? Why would we, you can pop that on. Why would we want to do these things? I'm not sure how. The instructions. Why would we want to do that?
Squish it on and you can.
He's gonna show me
you
live.
just squish it on.
What happened?
Yeah.
No, you squish it on the end.
Right on the spout. On the spout guy there.
Oh, right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Press it on nice and hard.
Right through this part?
No, that's a screw cap. You need this guy. You may not have this guy. I do.
Okay. We do have it. It's at home. I left it in the orange box. So, but why do we want this oxygen that he's talking about? Because what it's doing, wine got shoved into this glass bottle. And so sometimes if it is too tannic or if it is too young, so a lot of you out there may say, Eric, I really like your wines young and ripe, but it's sometimes too ripe. A guy told me this Sunday in a tasting. I do want 2 years age. I want them to settle down. So what Greg has geniusly created, what we've tried to accomplish with decanting, is we get oxygen to it. What does that do? That ages it. And so it softens those tannins. It softens that ripeness. So what he's done is he just told you, he's taken out an hour immediately. Instantly, he's given that wine a 1 hour decant, which it totally changes it. I mean, it's
this one is huge, and like you were describing, it is beautiful. That is forever. And if you like tannins, I like pouring actually 2 tastes of the same wine with and without Coravin or the aerator, because you know what? They're both good. They're just differently good. This one has no tannin. Like the tannin is just totally washed away, and all of the fruit comes out and is like sort of lovingly caressing your tongue. This one has that tannic structure, which, you know, I kind of like. It's one of the reasons why I like Nebbiolo. It's why I like Barolo. It sort of grips and adds this texture to the wine that is really beautiful. Both of these wines are gorgeous. They're just different from each other, and it's you get to see an hour later.
But most consumers don't agree with you. Most consumers. So when you go into the Capitol Grill and or Mastro's and they're doing a Coravin pour, you're there for one glass. For the most part, the average consumer, we found out, your olfactory senses, when the wine hits, they want it to be seamless. That's why the sugar geeks, the sugar wines, the fake wines, have all added the sugar, because to mask all the shit and crap, and then you just drink it. Oh yeah, it's yummy, it's sugar. So what you've accomplished with this is, if someone did over extract or make something too big, the normal consumer really, I'd say 80%, about only 20% loves that grippiness, is what we found out by running analytics here, national metrics. They want that seamless, easy pour. So by doing what you did, you've solved for a massive problem. And I guess for those of you that are geeks out there that buy his new version, you could do this into a decanter, and holy shit, you're going to get basically 2 days or a full day if you decant and then wait 4 hours. You're really going to be like, oh my, yeah, I'm drinking a wine that it might add 3 years. It might make it taste like it would 3 years down the road. 2 years.
It's cool that's what was so beautiful about wine and what you do. These are time capsules that you create. And I've had wines from the 1990s and the 1800s. And you think about it, all these people are dead. The people that made this wine, the vineyards are frequently gone. Or if they're still there, they're epic, but the winemaker's changed 3, 4, 5 times. But you know, that you get a chance to taste what that was, that year was, and you're bottling time like this. And then to be able to taste it 2016 and taste it with and without aeration and say, okay, this is what it's gonna be like a year from now or 2 years from now. Is that's why wine kicks beer's ass. That's why wine is better than scotch.
That's the fun of your invention. I've started this 3 times and I haven't finished, but me and my son, during this, we every night would go into the cellar, and so you guys, I think I told you guys this last week. If I didn't tell you, I told someone else. I'm doing so many of these damn things. I keep now, the middle third of my cellar is all Coravin wines.
Oh
and
my God.
It's badass because I don't want to search for what did and didn't get it. I've already pre-sliced off the cap. And
that's a good idea. Yeah. Good strategy. Your needle will last longer.
So the coolest thing, I don't want to go through any of that, right? I don't want to go through the wax, so I've cut that off. So you guys, I'm growing my middle of my cellar. So the other night I said, you know, I really want a Cote Rôtie, but I wanted to try a new young Guigal and Puy. But I knew Cote Rôtie makes their wine in such a grippy, aggressive style. You almost have to age it. And you know I hate aging. And I did not have your new one yet. And I'm pissed now because we ended up smoking. I had a buddy over at a distance. We ended up smoking the bottle. But what me and my son were doing is every night we would start dinner. Chablis, white Burgundy, Arista from Sonoma, Consgard,
Bullseye.
just a different baller white every night.
I love that guy.
And so we'd start that way, and then we'd say, hey man, let's try a Chablis against this deal. And it was just like, and then, okay, I don't now need to worry that I just opened up an expensive white that I got to kill it tonight or tomorrow. Let's roll. Let's go get a glass of Scarecrow or Realm or a Chateauneuf de Pop from Genasse or somebody else and pop that. And so every night, me and him and my wife, and then my 16-year-old daughter got involved with smaller pours. Everybody take it easy. We're in the fucking wine.
I was 16 when I had my first glass of wine,
and
it was in Napa Valley. So I totally salute what you're doing.
Are they still making wine? Are they still making wine in the valley?
Yeah,
I
think so.
I thought they stopped. That's a trip, man. So, anyways, that is, you guys, the love affair I have, and this guy, Greg hasn't paid me 10 cents. He doesn't give me shit. My company doesn't ask him for anything. I'm just geeking out because it has been such a fun 2 to 3 month ride over COVID, and so now, and I'm going into these restaurants, getting, I did a literide pour. I walk into a Capitol Grill that was next to my hotel in Chicago, and I'm like, man, they better not have all this bullshit core crap sugar wine that I'm not going to drink. What's the Coravin list say? Literide. I think it was an Arista or one of those. I'm like, oh yeah, now we're going, man.
There we go.
Give me my first white, and then we'll move. I did an Ocean Air, one of Tillman Fertitta's.
Oh yeah,
his brands, Ocean Air. And I started with, what white did I start with? It wasn't flowers, it was something else, but it was badass. And then I went into something else with my piece of fish or my crab, and then I went into something else. You guys, if you're not doing this, you're missing the boat. I'm just here to tell you. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah. So
before you talk,
Eric,
I'm not.
Tell you.
You be fast because I got rapid fire for you.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, Eric, as an inventor, this is what you want to hear. You're only alive once, and as an inventor, you want to positively influence as many people's lives as you possibly can, and that is what I was looking for. I wanted to be able to enable someone like you in a restaurant like Ocean Air or like Capitol Grill.
Or the neighborhood spot, the spot in the neighborhood.
Yeah, or you in your home and your friends come over and they want to try 30 different wines. Fine, why not? Try 30 different wines. What do we care? That was the liberation I was looking for. And as an inventor and the whole team here, I mean, look, I came up with the original idea that the people that made this thing, and I don't know if you've seen the Model 11, but the people that made this thing are smarter than I am. And they are as dedicated to this mission. Wine is a quality of life. I work in medicine, and you extend useful life, right? I mean, you try to keep somebody with cardiac disease alive. You keep someone with spine disease.
But we're all going to die. How we live to get to that point.
That's exactly it.
And what about the fact that I can go in, you guys, to my cellar tonight and grab a bottle of Booker ones that you were saving for your anniversary. And if you want to ask me anything, go ahead and fire away. That you were saving for your anniversary, but you say, why do I want to save anything anymore? Shit, I might get hit by a damn bus tomorrow. COVID might hit. Oh, it did. Why are we saving stuff? We no longer have to do it anymore. The greatest thing is everyone says, there's bottles off limits in my cellar. You know what? In my cellar, there's nothing off limits. And now with Coravin, I get to go in there and say, God, I really wanted to save this for when my buddy Juan Mercado from Realm was over, or when Tony Biaggi at Hourglass, or Scott Hawley from Torrin, or just any of my good buddies was over. Why would I do that now? I'm just going to go get a glass tonight and only use that much of it. So let's jump in to a couple other things real quick.
One question.
Real quick, they want to ask one quick question. What is it?
So Michael on Facebook Live right now, he asks, how does the argon affect the aging of what wine remains in the bottle? So Like does some
Yeah.
oxygen remain in there throughout the aging process? With a small amount of oxygen in there, or is it generally lock that wine's place in time by using the Coravin?
It's a question that we get a lot, and it's a fair one. So you have to think of argon like sand. It has no effect whatsoever on the flavor of the wine. It is heavier than air. So I've done tests. As a nerd, if you store the wine upright, there is argon between the wine and the cork. Right? And so if any micro-oxidation tries to get through the cork, it's going to run into this shield of argon. And so what I say is store the wine on its side.
That's awesome.
Now what wine is experiencing is the exact same thing as if there was no argon in there. Wine is touching cork, cork is touching air. The argon is just sort of sitting up here between the wine and the glass. So the wine is going to age exactly like it was never touched. So super important to store your Coravin bottles on their side. If you store them upright, you could lock it, and it may not change as much.
And you never want to store your bottle upright anyways. You don't want to dry your cork out.
Exactly.
There's too many bad things. Some geeks say, well, I'm going to drink that next week, so they'll store it for sediment, for an old bottle, blah, blah, blah. But the other thing is, to geek out even more on that, Michael, you've already had dissolved oxygen pickup. So once that wine takes that, it doesn't give it back. The argon does not push that out. So you have levels of DO that you pick up anyways. So that's already built in to the wine. And it's already baked in before you hit it with Coravin. So let's say you're hitting a 2-year-old bottle. That slow pickup of DO that you got on the bottling line, which we usually get about almost 0.1 pickup, you get a level of or 0.085 to 0.1 or 1.0 pickup. You get that anyways, and then you get the slow before you hit it. So you're gonna have a natural aging process. And then as Greg is telling us, when you store it on your side, which is great news, I just figured the argon would settle down and purge it. So the oxygen.
Actually, one of the interesting
top.
things. So I did try 4 different gases: helium, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and argon when I was doing this. And both nitrogen and argon are used by winemakers in the bottling process to sparge the bottle.
That's what I use.
And so here's the interesting thing about noble gases. So helium and argon are both noble gases. They do not dissolve in fluid. Argon is actually the ancient Greek word for lazy. And argon is a lazy gas. It does not interact with anything. It doesn't want to be anywhere. It doesn't want to dissolve into a fluid, whereas nitrogen will dissolve. And I tried this. That was the second best gas. Nitrogen dissolves
strips
into the wine and makes it like it strips it. It makes it like Guinness beer. Guinness beer is nitrogenated. There's no carbon dioxide in there. Those tiny bubbles in Guinness beer are from nitrogen. And it mellows the palate and it makes the wine boring.
Strips the phenolics of the wine and then gives it, in most cases, that fizziness if you bump it too heavy with that, which a lot of Pinot guys used to do. Great to know. Real quick, rapid fire. All right. So a couple things. Quickly, how did you come up with the name?
Coravin, Heart of Wine. I'm a Latin geek. I was the Latin National Society president. And cor is heart and vin is wine. Coravin, getting at the heart of wine.
You are the head of the Latin club. You are a fucking nerd. I love it. The nerds are now winning, by the way. They're winning.
It's true, yeah. We're good at that.
At home. Married?
Married.
Kids?
2, 21 and 24. My older son, unfortunately, has COVID-19, is in LA and trying to recover. It's a long haul.
Yeah. Well, we'll all keep him in our thoughts. Music at the house. You and your wife, what do you listen to?
Alabama Shakes, Bon Iver, and a classical music group called Y Music, who are about as edgy gets. And Hoosier, if you know Hoosier.
Hoosier or Hosier?
Hoosier.
Hoosiers with a Z. Hoosiers like the Indiana Hoosiers.
That exactly.
Different band?
Love.
Hoosier, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm eclectic. I listen to so I never buy music. I hand my phone to my kids and I hand my phone to musicians and I just say, put on there what you're listening to. It's the same thing I do when I go to a restaurant.
Justin at
Bon Iver is
Bon Iver, Most people used to call it Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Is if you don't know it, if you don't know Bon Iver, if you don't know the XX, you simply don't know what unbelievable. Even Beach House. Check out Beach House.
Transcendent music.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Real mellow times. The Shakes. Brittany is a star. I got to meet her backstage at Coachella. She was sweet, great gal, and I've seen her multiple times. But
She's the shit. I wish I had her voice.
Yeah, uber talented, and she can string it too.
Yeah.
What's your go-to white?
White Burgundy or Austrian Riesling, because I am of Austrian descent. So I would do a Prager or Brunelmeier Riesling, or I would do a Ravenau Chablis. That's what I would do. Those are my go-to whites.
I was on Ravenau for a long time. It got a little up and down for me with the mic.
Yeah, it can go oxidative.
Primo oxidant.
But
I love them.
Go oxidative.
Okay, red.
Red. I'm a Northern Rhone guy. You give me an old 1985 Hermitage Côte Rôtie, it's like having sex. It smells like blood and meat. It tastes like bacon. None of these things are involved with a grape. That human beings make a wine that tastes like white pepper and is completely undrinkable for like 10 to 15 years, and then goes to forest floor, and then turns to blood and meat, to the point where I was at a dinner party and a woman was poured a glass of 85 Gigal Côte Rôtie or Hermitage. It was Hermitage. And she's like, does anybody want my wine? I can't drink this. And I was like, hell yes.
You're a nerd.
Hell yes,
and by the way, Hermitage and Côte Rôtie do not want you as their salesperson right now.
I know, blood and meat and white pepper. Don't drink it for 10 years, please.
I love Northern Rhone, but clean Northern Rhone. I'm a huge Northern Rhone fan, but I don't like Brett. I hate Brettanomyces.
Brett sucks. Agreed.
In any
Brett
wine,
sucks.
I don't want it. I like clean wines. Okay.
Oh, except for Lebanon. Come on. Chateau Mouchard. Brett-tastic.
Sorry, y'all.
By the way, if you Coravin Brett like Chateau Mouchard, wash your frickin' Coravin.
Oh yeah,
inject that crap into the next bottle.
That's all you're doing. It's just a wild yeast, man. That's all it is.
Dirty.
Go. Do you cook? That's a no. That's a hard no right there.
No. Most people ask me to not do so.
But you can cook.
Bad things. I somehow think that pickled jalapenos go in everything.
Does your wife cook? I love pickled jalapenos. Does your wife cook, or do you eat out a lot?
We eat out a lot because we both suck.
Okay. What's your go-to food?
I will eat a lamb neck ragu orecchiette from Italy, or anything from Piemonte, the thin noodle pasta they make with a little beef thing spread over. Like, that is like food sex. And then if that's not the case, charcuterie, cheese, and beautiful wine, and I'm done. Like, give me some olives, give me some cured meat, give me some great cheese, and give me 4 or 5 really wonderful bottles of wine in the Coravin. I am totally freaking set.
I'll be there in 10 minutes on my back deck with that exact recipe. My wife just wrapped up at our local cheese and charcuterie place and olives. Okay, real quick, let me make sure I didn't miss anything they wanted me. Guys, this is not a sales plug. I don't sell shit. You know, when I get online, I rarely even sell my own wine. Coravin, it's special. It's special because it allows you to do great things with your friends, sit around and try lots of things. So you can get online, you can buy it online. What are we doing tonight, Lauren? Lauren wants to come tell you. Lauren, why don't you tell them? And I'm going to move because I'm a freak about COVID, so I don't like to get close to anybody. Lauren?
Oh, yeah. No, that's right. I mean, my son is suffering, so, and he's 24.
Yeah, so we just have some exciting news that we're announcing tonight. We have a Coravin package bundle deal on our website live right now. So you can taste from home. We've had a lot of people asking about doing flights, and they don't want to open up 3, 4, 5 bottles of wine to do a tasting. So we've been able to partner with you guys so that we have a Coravin included with this package so that you can taste from home. It also comes with a private tasting experience with one of our brand ambassadors here at Booker. So they'll actually do a private tasting with you. So we're really excited about it. It's online live now. So just let us know if you have any questions, but otherwise we are looking forward. Eric, you're going to be doing this again, but on Coravin's site for Wine O'Clock on May 26th. So
yes,
round
I'm so
2.
looking forward to that. We're going to do the same thing. So I get to talk to this guy twice and drink his wines, and I'm going to give you a sneak preview because the wines arrived today, and I tasted them already, and they are stunning. You've got a GSM that kicks ass. That is so beautiful.
And you get to control the conversation. I have to just shut up and speak when spoken to.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You guys,
everybody on Instagram Live is bored with me. They want to hear you.
You guys, I'm not going to say this one last time. No sales pitch in this. We're not making any money off. If there's a Coravin in the bundle, Booker will make $0, not 10 cents off of it. We just believe in it. We're honored to be here tonight. We're honored that a guy that created this unbelievable invention that we love. We know a lot of you at home are nailing this thing. We know you're hitting it at restaurants. So just to be clear, you guys know I'm not pimping my hats. I don't pimp shirts. I don't get on and pimp shit. You come visit the site. You come to our vineyard. Man, we're just honest. In fact, I do a better job selling other people's wine, I think, than I do selling my own. So we're not in this to make 10 cents off you. You're a part of the Booker Nation. We just think it's something special that you need to get on with. And too many of you always ask me, is the wine ready now? It's like, let me tell you when the damn wine's ready. The wine's ready when you think it's yummy. Put the Coravin in it, hit it, and go, man, that wine's not ready yet. Or if you go, shit, let's nail this thing. Take that damn Coravin, throw it in the drawer, get the cork out, pop the thing, and let's do this. But I can't answer that because I don't know what your palate wants. My palate, unlike Greg's, Greg likes old wine. I can tell that right now. I think he's fancy though. He's probably got some cash. I'm going to ask him probably next time how much money he's got. I like to know those things. Just we want to know who we're dealing with.
Divided by 2, man. Divided by 2.
But I'm not a big old wine fan. I'm a off the truck to year 5 fan. And then I think sometimes I love it through 10, but I think it gets funky. This Coravin allows you to answer that. So anyways, Greg, we wrap up every week telling people thank you. Shop local, spend money, not time to invest in the stock market. It's time to help people. It's time to help those that can't help themselves. Concert industry people.
Restaurant industry.
Thank the people at Costco, at your local fine wine shop, at I don't even care if it's
your grocery store. Grocery store checkout person is a freaking warrior.
They're in the trenches. Give them a bottle.
They are in the trenches. Give them a bottle. That is exactly right. I got to tell you, our product is nothing without yours.
Yep.
We are a tool.
But they need to. But you guys out there, give these people something to celebrate. I don't care if it's a dinner card, if it's a bottle of my favorite neighbor to show them, if it's an EMT, but and I mean that. And I don't care if it's a bottle of my wine, anybody's wine, any real made wine. I'm an advocate for that. I don't want any fun. I like organically farmed stuff. I like people putting in their body things that are well made, thoughtful, and healthy. But let's take care of people. Greg, I'm going to give you the last word, brother. What do you got?
We're going to get to the other side of this. We're going to get to the other side of this as a group. Wine's going to be there when we get there, and it's going to bring us all together again. It's been with us for 8,000 years. It's going to be with us for 8,000 years more. We're lucky to have it. We're lucky to have the lives that we do. We're lucky to be able to get to the other side of this without disease and healthy and happy. I can't be more thankful to you for what you do in producing these great wines. I can't be more thankful for the people that work at Coravin to produce what they do. And I can't be more thankful for the people that I work with on the medical side who are putting their lives at risk every day, including at my own medical company to support the surgeries that we do. So there's something about humanity that comes through in a moment like this that you see. There's something about wine that comes through in a moment like this that you see. There's nothing like the accentuation of a pandemic or a crisis. There was I heard Peyton Manning, and he said, when the ship is going down, you see who the rats are. And I think there's the opposite as well, right? When the ship is going down, you see who the angels are.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. I like to think on the positive side. It's really great to meet you, Eric. It's really great to drink your wines.
So let's all be an angel.
Cheers to you and the team.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah,
let's all be an angel. Let's be great this week. We'll see you Friday, and then we'll see you on Greg's on the 26th on the Coravin site.
26th, dude.
But Friday, we got a former NFL superstar cornerback from Boston College, Will Blackman, young man starting his career off. And
Go BC.
Yeah, he's a mass guy. And so join us Friday at 4 p.m. on the Pacific time, or watch it later on the My Favorite Neighbor site. Greg, cheers. Love you all, guys.
Cheers, Eric.
Coravin, give a bottle of wine to people.